Primal Chaos. G'day, Primal Chaos here. Today I'm going to be checking out Stray Kids, Venom. Stray Kids I am completely new to. I have done a few reactions to BTS and stuff in the past. BTS, Blackpink, things like that. And, you know, this is a band name that just gets bandied around in the comment section fairly often. I get a lot of, check out Stray Kids. There's too many requests for me to nail down a specific song. So I just went through the list and picked out one that seemed interesting to me. It seems to be fairly popular and it's called Venom. So I'm suggesting that maybe this has got a little bit more energy, a little bit more high intensity, which is what I like to see in these pop acts. You know, the mistake I made with BTS was the first thing I reacted to was Dynamite, which is, to be fair, an amazing song. And it's a great performance, a great music video, all that sort of stuff. But I was expecting there to be this, you know, being that was my introduction to BTS, I was expecting to have this high energy kind of attitude, and that wasn't there, and it was really surprising. And then after that I did Mic Drop, and sort of that sort of catered to that sensation. I go, okay, starting to get a feel for how diverse these guys are. With all that said, I have no idea with Stray Kids what to expect. I'm going to suggest it's going to be something along a similar line, and hopefully this song has got that kind of high energy punch to it that I'm looking for, because that's kind of what I like in pop music. I like a lot of attitude. You know, and then, you know, behind that, you know, my favorite thing is a really well-written song, really well-produced, great vocals, all that sort of stuff. Just before I dive right in, I just wanted to bring to your attention my sponsor for today, which is Enchroma Glasses. Enchroma makes lenses for colorblind people, much like myself. And if you or someone you know is colorblind, definitely click the link in the description, check them out. They make an amazing product that I use every day. And they've helped me see the world in a slightly different way, much more accurately. Also, don't forget to check out my website right here if you want to check out some merch. It's a great way to support the channel. I've got sort of band t-shirt type things, baseball caps, stickers, shoes, everything. It's all designed by me. And so if you want to support Primal Chaos, that's the place to go. PRYMAL chaos.com. Here we go. Let's dive straight in. Stray Kids, Venom. Oh, wow. Hang on. Can we just... Can we not just blow past that opening shot? Like, how did they film this? I mean, I know the rotating hallway thing is an age-old trick, but the opening shot of a music video, it's kind of bold statement, wouldn't you say? That's very cool. Yeah, okay. This is the kind of attitude I was expecting.
지나가는 길에 모른 척도 걸렸다네 못 빠져나갈 걸 알면서도 또 걸렸다네 끈끈한 그물에 사로잡혔다네 criminal 치명적인 도 이미 다 퍼졌다네 No escape 사라진 감각 Can't feel my fingers 걸렸어 You got me wrapped up around your fingers 날 사로잡은 너의 손길에 취해가
Cool shot. All right, before we go too far into it, I guess it's going to cycle through the intro sort of motif again. But wow, that's really, really cool. I love the melodic nature of the chorus. I think I was... is it E? So... No. Yeah, I think it's sort of... something like that, which is just really nice. Like harmonically, it's kind of got a little bit of edge, like it's got a sorrow, kind of a sadness to it, but put in front of that beat, it's got like this high energy sort of sadness and what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost stoic, right? But I think the verse is somewhere in the E. Anyway, I think it's all in E minor. I could be very wrong on that. My music theory is super rusty, so don't take my word for it. But yeah, there's definitely something going on. Something like that. I really like that. I love it when you can sort of juxtapose something that's so atonal, right? If you listen to the verse, there's not really any I mean, I don't know if I'm hearing that or imagining it.
지나가는 길에 모른 척도 걸렸다네 못 빠져나갈
something
걸
like that.
알면서도 또 걸렸다네 끈끈
Yeah, right. So there's sort of like a bass sort of thing going on there. And that's it. Like all you've got as far as like a tonal center or any way of pitching the song is just that low sort of bass. Down there. But the attitude, like the thing that's sort of stands out to me is it's just almost all texture, right? There's a beautiful flow to the rapping, which is kind of disjointed and angular. But then they do a lot of vocal layering and little vocal stabs like, huh! You know, sort of noises like that, to sort of keep it interesting, because otherwise all you've got is like essentially sort of like a trap beat sort of hi-hat thing going on. And then just like a low sort of, occasionally there's something to give it a little bit of tonality. And then you've just got all of this sort of sparkling sort of energy across the top, which I just like, it's fascinating to me. This isn't the kind of thing that I produce, but I'm always in awe of people who can create really intricate and amazing beats. And it seems like what I'm learning is nobody does that better than the South Koreans. It's like they're an Olympic sport for them. But again, just that it's dripping with attitude. Even the sentiment of like, you know, I got captured on purpose, right? I'm not in your trap. You're in my trap, sort of thing. And I really dig that attitude and that energy. That's really cool. Coming true. Coming true. Coming true. Oh, nice build. 못 빠져나갈 걸 알면서도 또 걸렸다네 끈끈한 그물에 사로잡혔다네 치명적인 도인이 다 퍼졌다네 사라진 감각 Can't feel my fingers 걸렸어 You got me wrapped up around your fingers This is almost a little bit synthwave, right? Interesting. The chorus, I was trying to put my finger on what sounds so familiar about it. And there's an attractiveness to things that are familiar, right? It draws the ear in and it makes us feel like it's something that's kind of, you know, it's not as new as it to your ears as it should be, right? And that's kind of what makes things stick in your ear. That's where earworms come from. And what I find really interesting about it is it sort of sounds like something, and the closest thing I was saying synthwave, but I'm not entirely sure that's what it is, because the synths aren't quite 80s enough. I don't think the beat is quite 80s enough, but it definitely reminds me of something like Linkin Park, right? If it just had like a little bit more sort of a grit to it, like guitar wise, it's got that sort of uplifting, sort of da na na, sort of like very simplistic sort of chord structure that's really sort of expressive in that it makes you feel like a sensation of like uplifting, but still kind of like dark at the same time. And I'm down with that. That's really cool. Also, I love the imagery of the bow and arrow. That's really neat. Coming true. Coming true. That's so cool. 긴급 상태 위급한 썰는 리지 You got me like Curly 공포심보다 위험한 게임에 올라탄 기분 모두 신박해 매우 긴장해 내요 언제나 잡을지 몰라 심각해 매 옆에도 위에도 뒤에도 주변이 온통 너 거미줄에 걸린 걸 너무 꼬였지 골통 포시자 위협에 덜덜 떨리는 몸뚱이 너의 시커먼 포스지 눌렸던 내게 모습에 정신이 시끄다 No escape 사라진 감각 Can't feel my fingers 걸렸어 You got me wrapped up around your finger. It's like they go to school to learn how to be cool, right? Like there's like, you know, like some societies, girls go to deportment school to learn how to behave in society and stuff like that. It's like these guys go to school to learn how to just like be like, what's the word? Aloof, right? There's just like an energy to them that's just like, I don't give it AF. I don't want to swear on this channel, but you get the idea, right? And I love it. It's so cool. That's what I like about pop music, right? It's supposed to give you that impression of like attitude and stuff. I mean, this has been going on since New Kids on the Block. You know, everybody was like, oh, they're such tough guys. You know, Donnie Wahlberg's riding a motorcycle. But these guys have distilled it down to an essence and made it like a cultural thing where it's just like, just bad attitude sort of things. But you can tell it's a bit of a facade because I guarantee everyone in the comments is going to be telling me how amazing these guys are and how they're lovely and everything. And I'm sure they are. But I just love their sort of like aloof attitude. It's very cool.
You got me wrapped up around your fingers.
Yikes. All right.
좀만 묶어 여길 빠져나가서 어딜 가 주변의 랍도 않는 분위기에 사로잡힌 난이 뭔가
움직일수록 또 좁아지는 행동 반경 최고의 반전은 모습은 함정 포이즌 장전 주입해 더 빨리 빠르게 돌아 몸에 독을 가둬 coming too low 머리부터 발끝까지 감은 난 어리둥절 느껴지는 소름과 저류 달아나려 해도 위미
coming true
Okay, yeah, I really like that. The breakdown. Just want to check that out again because again, it's like it takes something that's sort of textural and complex and just drops it down to almost nothing, where it's literally just synth bass. There's no real. See, there's a kick drum and just like high reverb sort of like hits, but it's like there's not really a rhythm so much anymore, and the rhythm comes from like them providing what would, you know, typically be like your hi-hat sort of rhythm to keep the momentum up, but in the background all you got is sort of kick drums and then the occasional with a reverb tail. It's like 7 seconds long. But it just makes it so ambient. It's like all of a sudden you've just walked into a giant cavern, and you can hear their voices sort of, you know, doing their thing. And I just want to point out also, it seems like they're really comfortable with like more complex rhythmic structures with their raps. You know, like I hear a lot of triplets and things like that in there, and things that are like, it's much more common in modern rap, obviously. And again, I'm no rap expert. I just know what I've picked up along the way from hearing people talk about it and people giving demonstrations and stuff like that. But it's the same, like theory-wise, rhythm-wise, it's all the same. Doesn't matter if you're playing drums or guitar or whatever. The music notes are all the same, right? The subdivisions and things like that don't change. But for the longest time, rap was fairly consistently 4/4, and then people started throwing in things like triplets, you know, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 sort of things, or, you know, swung rhythms and things like that are kind of, you know, not quite what you'd expect from a straight 4/4 rhythm. A 4/4 beat is like your 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and you can plot along to that. Like the innovators of rap back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, would literally just talk in rhythm with the beat. And, you know, nowadays that has kind of like a quaint sort of charm to it because it's, you know, it's the OG rap. But nowadays you need to come with a lot more complexity and a lot more interesting, innovative sort of rhythmic structures to sort of stand out, you know, and it's popping up everywhere. I just did a reaction for Falling in Reverse, and there was so much really complex rap in that as well. And again, I'm not a rap guy. I'm sure there's dudes out there who are like savant rappers, or like, you know, the equivalent of your sort of like virtuoso guitar players and stuff like that doing rap. But to my ear, it's something that just gives you a real interesting sort of taste and real interesting flavor when a rapper knows how to play with the rhythms, right? And these guys have got it in spades. They really get it. But yeah, let's listen back to that middle 8 drop. Oh, the sub bass is so cool.
돈만 못 가 여길 빠져나가서 어딜 가 주변에 랍도 않는 분위기에 사로잡힌 난이 뭔가
움직일수록 더 좁아지는 행동 반경 최고의 반전과 모습은 함정 보이는 장전 주입해 더 빨리 빠르게 돌아 몸에 독을 가둬 거미줄로 머리부터 발끝까지 감은 난 놀이뚱처럼 느껴지는 소름과 저류 달아나려 해도 위미
Nice.
꽁꽁 묶여 거미줄에 걸렸어 거미줄에 걸렸어 아직 못 빠져나왔어 거미줄에 걸렸어 거미줄에 걸렸어 빠져나갈 생각 없어
Cool. All right, that was really interesting. Yeah. Look, nothing that was uber surprising to me. This is kind of almost a little bit what I expected and what I was hoping to get, actually. So that's a nice surprise. But yeah, like these guys definitely have an amazing ability. Let me know in the comments how these guys piece together. I know that, you know, every time you start talking about acts like this and you sort of say, well, there's a machine behind them and, you know, this isn't producers and all this sort of stuff. And then every time I do that, someone's like, no, these guys write all their own songs or they write all their own raps or rhythms or whatever. Let me know. I'd love to know sort of the backstory behind these guys. You can see in the Google search, basically, it's got them listed as rapper, dancer, vocals, rapper, all that sort of stuff. So they same sort of dynamic as sort of like a BTS where everybody has a role. Although, you know, everyone keeps telling me with BTS, they kind of, those roles have kind of fallen apart over time and they all kind of multitask and stuff now. Yeah, let me know if it's the same story here as well. I'd be curious to know what's going on behind the scenes with these guys. Did they win a? I'm sure I read somewhere that they came from a show or something like that, like a talent show or something on TV or some, you know, Search for a Star kind of thing. But yeah, hit me up because I love getting the information from you guys, not so much Googling things, because it's the real fans who tend to know the real stories. And if enough of the stories coalesce and line up, then to me, that becomes facts, right? So, man, that was really cool. I'm excited to hear more Stray Kids. Let me know where I should go in the future. And thanks again. I hope you got something out of this. If you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel. Just buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Also, don't forget to check out my merch site and definitely Enchroma Glasses and stuff like that. Like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks again. I really appreciate you sticking around and checking this out. I love going on a journey of discovery with new acts. It's always way more fun when it's the first time experiencing a group like this. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again. Stay primal. I'll catch you in the next one.